Okay, so yesterday we have seen about mapping in the cache. Okay, so there are two ways. One is called direct mapping, and second one is called set associative mapping. Any doubt? Any doubt? Anyone? Fine. So we are moving ahead with the set associative mapping. All right. So basically, the set associative mapping is enhanced form of direct mapping. Okay, where the drawback of direct mapping are removed. What are the drawback of direct mapping? We can see that, okay, here in the case of direct mapping, we have divided the memory into, let us say, two parts, or there are two sets in M1, that is a cache memory, and there are number of sets in M2. So, for example, for every odd number, we can place only one block at a time here in case of main memory, right? In case of cache memory, sorry, we can place only one block at a time. Okay, what if I'm having block number 2, 4, 6, 8, and all are frequently being used? All are frequently being used, right? So in that case, these blocks will be frequently brought into the cache memory, then it will be swept out, then it will again swept in, swap out, and it will go on, and that will incur more time, and it is costly, right? Because CPU is involved in just transferring of block of data to and from the main memory. All right. So that is a drawback of direct mapping. Though it is very much simple, we cannot go with it. Therefore, the disadvantage of direct mapping is overcome by set associative mapping. Okay. So, how set associative mapping has been done? Okay. So, in case of set up associative mapping, the cache memory is divided into set. Let us say it is divided into two set, and each set consists of n number of block. Each set consists of n number of block. Previously, what is set in case of direct mapping? A block itself is a set, right? But now in case of set associative mapping, let us say we are having a main memory, cache memory. So we are going to divide this cache memory into two parts, and each part is called set. M10 is a set, M11 is a set. Further, in M10 we are having four blocks. In M11 we are having four blocks, right? So the requirement of multiple blocks will be fulfilled by the set associative mapping. Okay, so we can keep multiple block in a single set. We can keep multiple block in a single set. So this kind of organization is called two-way set associative cache, because the cache memory is divided into two sets. It is known as two-way set associative cache. Further, we can have four-way set associative cache. In that case, the cache memory is divided into four parts, and each set consists of some number of blocks, right? So here the cache memory is divided into four parts: M10, M11, M12, and M13. All right. And further, each set is having four blocks. Each set is having four blocks. Okay. So how can you define set associative mapping? Okay. How can we define set associative mapping? All right. Again, in case of set associative mapping, the address field consists of tag, set address, and word offset. Always needed. Okay. A particular byte belong to particular set in particular block, right? That we need to identify. So the address convention will remain same, but the only thing is that the way we are keeping data inside the cache memory. Okay. One is called direct map, and second one is called set associative map. Okay. So in case of set associative map, the cache is divided into some number of sets, let us say S1, and these sets are multi-block. These sets are multi-block. Okay, where these sets you can term it as M10, M11, and up to the number of sets that is possible, that is M1, S1 minus 1. So we need to identify that a block બેન પાણીનો અવાજ છરીક જોજે. Okay, so where were we up to? Okay, so I think we have to start it all over again. Okay, fine. So the cache is divided into S1 and each set is of multiple blocks where number of sets which will be there in the cache memory will be M10, M11 up to M1, S1 minus 1. So we need to identify that a block which belongs to memory M2, which can be your main memory. It is the ith block of M2. Okay. Ith block of M2 is mapped into the set which is there in memory M1. Right? So the ith block of M2, which is second level of memory, will be mapped into M1. Okay. But in which set? Let us say in set number H. Okay, but a condition must be satisfied, and the condition is that the set address can be identified using a formula I is equal to H mod S1. Okay, same as the previous one. I is equal to H mod S1. Okay, again it is also termed as K-way set associative mapping. Okay, why it is called K-way? We can have two-way, we can have four-way, we can have eight-way. So we can term it as a K-way set associative mapping. Okay, which permits up to k members of the same equivalence. K members of the same equivalence to be stored in cache. To be stored in cache. Okay, simultaneously. Okay, we can store it simultaneously. Which is not possible in direct mapping, So now if there is a request for odd number blocks, multiple odd number blocks, we can accommodate multiple odd number blocks in its respective cache. Okay, so that is possible now, which was not possible in case of direct mapping. Each set can accommodate one block at a time in case of direct mapping. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Yes, fine. So now we are moving ahead. So let us take an example. Okay. The example is, consider a cache memory. Okay. Of 8 KB. So size of the cache memory is 8 KB with two-way set associative mapping. So entire size of the cache is divided in two parts. Each part is of 4 KB. Okay. So two-way set associative, instead of mapping, I would write addressing. Okay. Which is intended for a 32-bit processor. Okay. 32-bit processor. So what are the number of fields in the address? Address field consists of tag, it consists of set address, and it consists of displacement. It is same as direct mapping. Okay. So which is intended for 32-bit processor. Okay. The cache block contains 8 bytes. What is your block size? The block size is given, which is 8 byte. Okay. What we need to determine? We need to determine how many bits will be needed in order to identify the tag, how many number of bits needed in order to identify set address, and how many bits will be needed in order to identify the displacement. Okay. Is the question is clear? What is given with us? Okay. So first thing we will find out that, okay, the block size is 8 byte. All right. It is 8 byte. So which is nothing but 2 raised to 3. The memory is byte addressable. Okay. In order to refer 1 byte, we need 3 bits. Right? So displacement will be of 3 bits. So out of 32 bits, 3 bits is for displacement. The next thing that we will identify is set address. What is given with us? Cache size. What is the size of a cache? It is 8 KB, 8 kilobyte. Okay. Now again we are having two-way set associative addressing. Two-way set associative addressing, and therefore your cache is divided into two parts. So that will be 8 KB divided by 2. So that will be equal to 4 KB. So each set consists of 4 KB of data. Each set consists of 4 kilobyte of data. Okay. Again, what is the block size? The block size with us is 8 byte. Already given, it is 8 byte. What we need to identify? We need to identify that how many number of blocks will be there. Okay. So that will be equal to the size of one set, that is a 4 KB, that is a 4 kilobyte, divided by your block size, divided by block size. Okay, now that is equal to 4 KB is equivalent to 2 raised to 2 multiply by, it is given in kilobyte, so we are converting into bytes. So k is 2 raised to 10 bytes divided by 2 raised to 3 bytes. That is the size of your block. That is 2 raised to 3 byte. Okay, so that is equal to 2 raised to 9. If you are going to simplify this, we will get 2 raised to 9. Okay, so what we got? We get from this that a set address requires 9 bits. A set address requires 9 bits because here it is 2 raised to 9. So each set address require 9 bit. Okay, so how many number of bits will be needed for the tag? Okay, so what is remaining? Tag is equal to 32 bit, which is given the standard size of the address, minus 9 bit for set address and 3 bit for displacement value. So we are having 20 bits for tag. We are having 20 bits for the tag. Okay, is it clear? Yes, Kashyap, you are right, very right. Okay, okay, you people are so quick. Nice one. Fine. So I'm giving you some complex example now. So here is an example for you. So we are having a 4-way set associative cache. All right, which is initially empty with total 16 blocks, 16 cache blocks. Okay. Again, what is given with us? The main memory consists of 256 blocks, right? And the request for memory blocks generated during program execution is in following order. What is given with us? Main memory holds 256 blocks, but at a time your cache memory can hold 16 blocks. Okay, so your program generates some number of addresses or request for the blocks. That block you need to bring from the system needs to bring from the main memory to the cache memory. All right. So now the order in which the block request arrives in the system are 0, 255, 1, 4, 3, 8, 133, 159, 216, 129, 63, 8, 48, 32, 73, 92, and 155. Okay, so these are the block requests. Okay, so these blocks we need to bring from main memory to the cache memory. All right. Now, further, we're going to extend the question is, which one of the following memory block will not be in the cache if LRU policy is used. So if you're going to replace a block with the new block, the block will be replaced according to LRU policy. Okay, you cannot randomly pick any block, but you have to implement LRU policy. And if a block is least recently used, that will be replaced first in a particular set. Okay, so your options are block number 8, then block number 216, then block number 129, and then block number, let us say 3. Okay, so you need to identify that which block will not be placed or will not be present in the cache if LRU policy is implemented. So what is there with you? Okay, it is a 4-way set associative cache. So 16 total blocks are there, and in each set 4 block can be there. Each set is accommodating 4 blocks. Okay, and if you want to replace any block under any cache, you need to replace it with the policy LRU. Okay, you need to replace it with the policy LRU. Okay, so what you need to apply? You need to apply the formula that is address mode 4. Why 4? Because we are having 4 sets in a cache memory. Which is the address? Okay, 0 is the address generated, mode 4. Okay, what is the result? Result is 0. So where block number 0 will be placed? Block number 0 will be placed in set number 0. That you need to write down. Okay, that you need to write down. All right. So you need to do it very much systematically. Okay, let us say I'm drawing a table. Okay, fine. So this is my set number. Okay, each set is capable of holding 4 blocks. So this is my set S1. 4 block for S1, 4 block for S2, similarly 4 block for S3 and so on. Okay, so S1 में कौन सा place करेंगे? 0. Let us say this is set as 0, that will be more clear. And this is set number 1. Okay, so 0 mode 4 is 0, so 0th block will be placed here. Then you need to pick up second address, that is a 255 mode 4. Whatever your answer is, let us say your answer is 3. Okay, so block number 255 will be placed in set number 3. Okay, and this is how you need to proceed. Is the question is clear? Question is clear? Right? Yes? Anyone? Am I audible? Dinky, I'm just giving you a hint. I'm not going to tell you everything. Okay? What if you want to replace a block with a new block? In your pen or paper, you will just simply cut it and write beside it. And that's why for here, for conveniency, I draw a table. All right. Is it done, everyone? Okay, 2, 1, and 6 according to Jill, Dinky, and Gautam. How about others? Yes, your answer is right. It is 216. Okay. Okay, one more question for you. So we are having a four-way set associative cache memory unit. Okay. The capacity 16 KB. Okay, is built using a block size of 8 words. What is the block size? It is 8 words. Okay. The word length is 32 bits. What is the word length? 32-bit length equal to one word. Okay, so block size is of 8 words. Right? The size of physical address space what is the physical address space? It is the space in your main memory, right? Is 4 GB. What we need to find out? We need to find out that what is the number of bit required for the tag or set address and for the displacement. Okay, one thing it is not given here is what is the size of the address that you need to figure out, and that's where the size of physical address space is given. Okay, all right, is the question is clear? Yes or no? Okay, then solve it. So Kashyap displacement 5, set at rest 7, and number of bits for tag is 20. Same, Ria, same, Jill. Yes. Okay, so your answer is right. Fine. So one more question I'm sharing with you, and then we are done for today's lecture, and we'll end this topic. All right. So in case you have any doubt, that can be solved. The question given to you is a double format. A computer system has two caches, level 1 instruction cache, level 1 data cache, level 2 cache with the following specifications. The capacity of each and every cache memory is given. The mapping technique of each and every cache memory is given, and block size for each and every memory is given. Okay. The length of physical address of a word in the main memory is 30 bits. Okay. We need to determine the capacity of tag memory of each and every caches. We're having 3 cache memory, so 3 tag memory will be there, one for each cache, right? So need to determine the size of the tag memory for I cache, D cache, and L2 cache. All right. Okay, so note down this question, and you can do it for a homework. And if you're not getting it, we'll discuss in the next lecture. Okay. So please note down this question.